In 2004, Bacardi paid $2.2 billion for a vodka brand that didn't even exist 7 years earlier. Grey Goose was pure imagination turned into liquid gold. Sidney Frank transformed the humble people's drink of Poland and Russia into the ultimate American luxury symbol. He used nothing but psychology and French mystique to pull off one of the most audacious marketing cons in history. Grey Goose was conceived as a marketing concept before a single drop was ever distilled. The brand came first, the vodka came second. Frank understood something shocking about human nature. People pay for perception, not product. In just 7 years, Frank created a luxury empire from thin air. He sold it for $2.2 billion and walked away with the majority of that money in his pocket. We're talking about a marketing illusion so sophisticated that millions of consumers never realized they were being played. This investigation reveals how Frank manipulated behavioral science to fool an entire generation of drinkers. He rewrote the rules of luxury branding and created a template that companies still follow today. If you're ready to see how the luxury industry really works, smash that like button and subscribe for more shocking business revelations. Now, to understand this billion-dollar illusion, we need to meet the marketing genius who created it from nothing. Sidney Frank was a college dropout who became a billionaire by understanding one simple truth about human psychology. Born poor on a Connecticut farm in 1919, Frank got accepted to Brown University, but had to drop out because he couldn't afford it. His lucky break came when he married Louise Rosenthal, whose father owned Schenley Distilleries. Frank learned the liquor business from the inside, and his genius revealed itself early. He took Jägermeister, an obscure German digestive that only elderly immigrants drank, and transformed it into the hottest college party drink of the 1980s. His secret weapon was the Jägerettes, an army of promotional models who made the bitter herbal liqueur irresistible to young Americans. By the 1990s, Frank spotted something huge. American drinking habits were shifting from beer to sophisticated cocktails, driven by shows like Sex and the City. While everyone else competed in the crowded premium vodka market, Frank saw a different opportunity. Absolut dominated at $17 a bottle, but the wily businessman recognized there was room above it for true luxury positioning. He didn't want to compete with existing brands, he wanted to transcend them entirely. Frank understood that vodka is inherently colorless, odorless, and flavorless. People were literally paying for perception, not product. Armed with this psychological insight, he was about to deploy one of the most audacious pricing strategies in business history. The man who couldn't afford college was about to prove that in America, you can create luxury from absolutely nothing. Frank deliberately chose to charge $30 for Grey Goose when the premium competition was $17. The psychology behind why this worked will shock you. While any rational competitor might have undercut Absolut at $10, Frank doubled down and charged $30, 76% more than Absolut's $17 premium price point. Most people thought he was insane, but Frank understood something profound about human nature. Consumers don't value products objectively. They use context cues and emotional signals to determine worth. For luxury products, people automatically assume higher-priced items are higher quality. It creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where expensive equals better, regardless of what's actually in the bottle. Research proves this psychological manipulation works. Wine studies show people rate identical wine 70% higher when they think it costs $45 instead of $5. Their brains literally taste a difference that doesn't exist. Frank had weaponized pure psychology. The high pricing maintained an appearance of exclusivity and scarcity, psychological triggers that drive luxury desire. If Grey Goose cost the same as everything else, why would anyone believe it was special? Frank was refreshingly honest about his strategy later. He admitted producing vodka was straightforward. You make it today, you sell it tomorrow. You don't have to put money into buildings and machines and warehouses. Translation, Frank created hundreds of millions in profit margins by manipulating consumer psychology rather than improving the actual product. He turned people's own minds against them. The markup was astronomical, but that was exactly the point. Every extra dollar customers paid was pure psychological manipulation converted into cash. Frank had cracked the code of luxury pricing, but pricing alone wasn't enough to justify these outrageous costs in consumers' minds. In 1997, France didn't even have vodka distilleries when he decided to create the world's first French vodka. He deliberately chose France despite it having zero vodka tradition, specifically because it wasn't Eastern Europe. Consumers intuitively associate France with luxury, champagne, wine, fashion, cuisine. the entrepreneur decided to piggyback on this reputation that had taken centuries to build. The timing was perfect. Cognac distilleries were sitting idle as cognac fell out of fashion, providing available production capacity. Frank recruited Francois Thibault, a master distiller from the Cognac region, to create credibility and an authentic French connection. Together, they selected premium ingredients, Picardy wheat and limestone filtered water from the Cognac region, to create an elaborate backstory. In 1998, Grey Goose received a World's Best Tasting Vodka rating with a 96 out of 100 score from the Beverage Tasting Institute. Most people had never heard of this institute, but that didn't matter. The marketing genius took out full-page ads in the Wall Street Journal promoting this rating. He was teaching consumers to buy vodka by numbers, like wine, creating the illusion of objective quality measurement. The packaging psychology was crucial. The distinctive frosted glass bottle featured French geese and flag imagery that subtly reinforced the French luxury narrative without being obvious about it. The team even shipped bottles to bars in wooden crates like wine, instead of the cardboard other vodka brands used. This signaled premium quality to bartenders, who became crucial advocates for the brand. Every detail was calculated to manufacture mystique around a product that had never existed before this entrepreneur imagined it. The French story gave consumers permission to pay luxury prices for what was essentially grain alcohol. He had created a complete luxury mythology from nothing, but storytelling alone wouldn't be enough to reach the sophisticated urbanites he was targeting. With the perfect luxury story in place, the mastermind was ready to make Grey Goose the vodka of choice for New York's elite. Not by accident, but through one of the most calculated product placement campaigns ever executed. HBO's hit show Sex and the City was deliberately selected to feature Grey Goose. The four protagonists ordered it in trendy Manhattan bars, showing sophisticated, attractive urbanites living aspirational lifestyles. This wasn't random product placement, it was surgical precision targeting. But the real genius move was infiltrating the charity circuit. The entrepreneur had a brilliant strategy of giving away Grey Goose to any charity event that wanted vodka at their bar. These events attracted exactly his target demographic: wealthy, sophisticated people who could afford luxury products. Charity attendees became unpaid brand ambassadors, spreading Grey Goose's reputation through elite social circles. Word of mouth from trusted friends carries infinitely more weight than advertising. High-end bartenders became crucial advocates after experiencing the brand's attention to detail in packaging and presentation. When influential bartenders recommend a spirit, their customers listen. The cultural impact was undeniable. Within years, Grey Goose appeared in rap lyrics from Jay-Z, Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, and Kid Cudi. This proved its crossover luxury appeal, from Manhattan socialites to hip-hop royalty. He never compromised the luxury positioning by going mass market or reducing prices. Exclusivity remained paramount. Even today, the strategy continues paying dividends. In 2024, the US Open partnership generated massive revenue through the Honey Deuce cocktail. The drink saw a 23.5% increase in sales with a record 556,000 serves, generating $12.8 million. That's from one cocktail at one event. The celebrity seduction machine had worked perfectly, but while celebrities and socialites fell for the Grey Goose mystique, industry experts were asking uncomfortable questions about what was really in the bottle. Drink experts claim premium vodka is often identical to cheaper versions, and the Costco conspiracy that haunts Grey Goose proves they may be right. Industry professionals argue that premium vodka marketing is largely meaningless, since vodka's entire purpose is to be flavorless and odorless. If you can taste the difference, it's technically bad vodka. For nearly 2 decades, persistent rumors have claimed that Costco's Kirkland vodka is actually Grey Goose in different packaging. The company has repeatedly had to quash these rumors, with executives explicitly stating they only produce Grey Goose. But the fact that people can't tell the difference between $15 and $50 vodka reveals how much of the premium market is psychological. Experts consistently debunk the myths that premium brands love to promote. The number of times vodka is distilled doesn't matter, despite brands boasting about multiple distillations like it's some magical process. Blind taste tests consistently show consumers can't distinguish between premium and standard vodkas when branding is removed. The only meaningful taste differences come from the base ingredient: wheat versus corn versus potato. The entrepreneur himself acknowledged this uncomfortable truth later in life. Sidney Frank admitted that creating luxury vodka was about convincing people there was magic when there wasn't. There was no magic to creating a luxury brand. He just had to convince everyone else that there was. That's a direct quote from the man who made over $1 billion selling perception. Despite all the criticism from experts, Grey Goose maintains premium pricing and continues selling 4.2 million cases globally as of 2023. The illusion remains profitable, even when people know it's an illusion. The critics might be right about the liquid being identical to cheaper alternatives, but their protests haven't dented sales. Psychology trumps logic every time in the luxury market. In 2004, Bacardi paid $2.2 billion for Grey Goose, and what they've done with it since reveals whether the illusion was worth the price. The acquisition happened after just 7 years on the market, when Grey Goose was selling 1.5 million cases annually. 2/3 of the purchase price went directly into Sidney Frank's pocket, making him a billionaire from a marketing concept. Frank died on January 10, 2006, at age 86 from heart failure while on his private plane flying between San Diego and Vancouver. He barely had 2 years to enjoy his windfall. Before his death, he gave away most of his fortune. $100 million went to Brown University, the school he dropped out of decades earlier because he couldn't afford it. He also gave a $23.8 million bonus to his longtime secretary. Bacardi positioned Grey Goose alongside other premium acquisitions like Bombay Sapphire Gin and Dewar's Whiskey. They understood they were buying more than just vodka. They were buying a luxury brand template. And Bacardi keeps innovating within the luxury framework. In 2024, they launched Grey Goose Altius, an ultra-premium version filtered at sub-freezing temperatures. The brand can still command even higher prices 20 years later. The marketing evolution continues with sophisticated campaigns like the Boulangerie François project, featuring bread made from the same French wheat as the vodka. Every spirits entrepreneur since has tried to replicate this success. Based on current sales volumes and premium pricing, Bacardi appears to have generated substantial returns on their original investment. The brand continues to sell to this day. The man who couldn't afford college created a money printing machine that outlasted him. 20 years later, Grey Goose's influence on luxury marketing extends far beyond vodka, reshaping how we think about premium brands forever. Sidney Frank proved that in the luxury market, perception is more valuable than product, story more powerful than substance, and psychology more profitable than innovation. Grey Goose single-handedly created the super premium vodka category and established the template for modern luxury brand building. The success reveals how much of the luxury industry operates on manufactured mystique rather than genuine superiority. Understanding Grey Goose's strategy helps consumers recognize when they're paying for marketing rather than quality. Frank's blueprint is everywhere now, from fashion to technology to food. The college dropout who turned grain alcohol into liquid gold changed how entire industries think about pricing and positioning. His legacy lives on in every luxury brand that charges premium prices for ordinary products wrapped in extraordinary stories. If this exploration of luxury marketing's dark arts opened your eyes to how brands manipulate your wallet, hit that like button and subscribe for more shocking revelations about the industries that shape our world. Want to see how another iconic brand built their empire on pure illusion? Check out our next video here.